Welcome back everyone to episode 23 in our devlog series. This week has been slower compared to others, but development has not stopped at all. It is still going as fast as it was before. We are also trying out a new style for the video, so if you're enjoying this new layout, hit that like button and subscribe to see more. Before we get right into the video, we wanted to just plug in our Patreon because we haven't done that in a couple videos. We recently got our second Patreon, if you guys did not know, so thank you to Deathstroke for supporting our project and just giving that money on our Patreon, and a big thank you to Inconspicuous. He has been a long time supporter that has helped us make this project so much better. With his support, I don't know if the project would be where it was today. If anyone else is interested in supporting our development, the link is down below. You get cool new features such as a new role and channel in our Discord where we post in development posts. In addition, you get to see all our Patreon posts, which is completely exclusive to only Patreon. Anyways, with the self-promotion out of the way, this week we have started on some important systems, mainly the questing system. Carl started implementing the system, and hopefully we'll get some nice things to show off in the next couple episodes. While he focused on the questing, I got hard on work with the interaction system we're working on. We wanted something more than just check what is around the player and pop up a prompt showing what button to press to open it. Without further ado, let's get right into this devlog. Before we get into this devlog, I want to give a big thank you to our sponsors for this episode. Boxophobic creates amazing content on the Unity asset store. We personally use many of his assets in our own project. The two we use in our project are the vegetation engine and the atmospheric height fog. These two perfect assets that make our world feel so much more alive and just so much better in general. The vegetation engine is a super useful tool we started to implement into our project recently. This helps trees, bushes, and grass feel more alive and more interactable. With the ability to easily implement seasons, wind, wetness, and much more, we knew it was a perfect asset for us, and I know it's just going to be as perfect for you guys. If you're missing out on the grass being interactive in your world, or you just want a more controllable wind environment for trees and bushes and grass, go check out the vegetation engine. We not only stand by the vegetation engine, but the atmospheric height fog is another awesome asset in our project. Allowing for multiple different fog sections in the same scene also helps change the mood in specific areas of our map. Not only can you change the fog in certain areas using the override feature, there's a 3D animated noise that also aid in helping make the fog feel so much more alive. So if you guys are interested in supporting us and Boxophobic, go check out his asset store page in the description below. The assets are really cheap for what they do, and I know using these assets will make your world feel so much better. So go check them out and give them a big thank you in our Discord. So the system I focused on making this week was the interaction system. This system is a long time coming. Before implementing this feature, we used a large sphere cast in front of the player object to determine if there were any objects the player could interact with. This would work until it got to levers, multiple items, and systems that we want to make in the future. After talking to Carl, he showed me the system he made for a project a bit ago. It determined which object the player would interact with based on the object the camera is facing. Though he used this for a first-person project, this type of system would go a very long way in our third-person action-adventure RPG. Using the same idea, I got to work on a system for our project too, though I wanted to implement one more failsafe into our feature. We wanted to make sure if there were two objects in the list of interactable objects, that it would get the closest one to the center of the screen. This was a pretty simple feature to add to our system. Since we already had the information of where it was hit, we could use the distance from where it was hit to the origin of the cast to determine which one was closer to the camera. After this, we would store the object, and this would be the object the player could interact with. To make this more visual for the player, we implemented the prompt we had before that stated the key to interact with and the object's name. Though this was not enough, we decided to activate the crosshair from the bow just to let the player know exactly where he's pointing at when he hovers over an interactable object. Questing is another system we're developing currently. Carl has been focused on planning out exactly how he wanted to accomplish this for the last couple of weeks, but finally he started implementing his plan. So basically how we want to implement the system and we want it to be as modular and simple as possible. Each quest has a tree of these types of phases, and each one of these phases has a step in order to complete the overarching quest. Each of these phases will be able to have a child phase, or it will not be able to have a child phase, depending if we want more than one step. This is how the quest tree is mostly structured to be an actual tree. To handle branching, each phase has its own ID. When a quest phase is completed, the manager checks the group ID to determine if there is another child or if it is completed. If there is another step, it checks all of the steps to make sure they are completed, and if so, that quest is complete. At the moment, we don't really have too much to show you guys because it's really just walking around at the moment, but as soon as we get more interesting quests set up, we're going to be showing you guys in the devlog as soon as we can. While we worked hard on getting the game to function, our modelers worked on creating models to fill the world. Perforator focused on mostly nature assets over this week, creating models such as giant boulders, a couple of rocks and pebbles, a new birch tree, log piles, and a new small pine tree. So give him a big thank you for being really busy over this last week. His models look fantastic, and just give everyone a big thank you on the Discord from the Hive team. While Perforator worked on those, Excelsius started dabbling in giving our characters some facial features. Though it's still very early, we're excited to show you guys the more finalized version of the player model in the next coming weeks. That's all we really did over this past week. Don't worry about the AI, it is coming eventually. I'm just trying to figure out exactly which system I would like to use, and I also have a couple of bugs I want to fix up with the main game to make it perfect. Also, again, if you guys are interested in supporting our project monetarily, go check out our Patreon page where you get cool benefits like a special role and channel in our Discord where we post more in development posts, and also you get to view all our Patreon posts and much more. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next week's devlog.